Hi, my name's Eric E., and I'm about to introduce you to the funnest game of pool you ever will have played. It's a game called Drunken Cowboy, and not only is it just fun to play something different than 8-ball, but after playing this game for a while, you will instantly be a better 8-ball player and instantly better at any game of pool. If you want to become a better pool player in any game, you know that a couple of the most important things are planning ahead for your next shot. The good players plan ahead 2-3 shots ahead, or even the entire play out of the game. And the beginner players just hit and see where the balls go. Now, in 8-ball, or any game where all 15 balls are on the table, there's so many balls to get in the way of where your cue ball goes, and there's so much more accidents that can happen, and things that are just plain luck. So it makes it harder to predict where your cue ball is going to end up after your shot, and it makes it harder to learn to make those predictions. This game only has 3 balls on the table. I'll show you now. Now, as you can see, there's only 3 balls on the table, 3 object balls. The 1 ball, the 5 ball, and the 3 ball. And they go in those positions. And that's one of the things that helps this game make you a better pool player. In 8-ball, or in any ball where all the balls are on the table, there's so many balls in the way that any shots you make, it's harder to predict where the cue ball is going to go. Now, the really good pool players, one of the number one things they do is they think about, before they make a shot, they think about where's the cue ball going to end up after the shot. After I make the shot, where's the cue ball going to end up? That's the number one thing you got to do to become a better pool player. And in 8-ball, that can be hard to learn because there's so many more variables with 15 balls on the table. But with only 3 balls on the table, it's easier after you sink a ball, the cue ball, it's easier to follow where it's going to go. It's not going to hit as many things. And also, in this game, in 8-ball, there's a lot of balls to get in the way and keep you from accidentally scratching. But in this game, there's all the green is open, so when you make a mistake, you get punished for it by a scratch. So you get punished a lot, you learn a lot of lessons, you get better. So that's one of the things that makes this game teach you to be a better pool player. Also, for the same reason that there's only 3 balls on the table, when you start learning how to shoot with English, putting spin, left or right, top or bottom, when you start learning to put spin on the ball, English, it's easier to see what happens. And the other thing that you would like to do to become a better pool player is learn better bank shots. Well, on a game with only 3 balls on the table, your bank shots are easier to predict, easier to see, easier to make. You get more chances to do them. And the other thing that I love about this game is there's always a shot to be made. There's always a number of shots, a number of options. You always have a good shot. In 8-ball, for example, you've been there. There's so many times when you just don't have a shot. You've got, the balls are aligned in such a way that, you know what, I'm not going to make any shot. And that's frustrating. It's frustrating to not have any options and just have to shoot something you know you're not going to make. In this game, it's really fun. You always have a bunch of shots. And it's always just a matter of which one would I like to make. And they all have different scoring possibilities. And then the options are just, how greedy am I going to get? Am I going to try to score in 2 ways on this shot or just 1? And so let me tell you about the game now. It's really fun. There are 3 ways that you can score points in Drunken Cowboy. You can sink an object ball, just like in regular pool, and then you get a point value of the ball. 1 point, 5 points, 3 points. So the first way to score, sink an object ball. The second way to score is what's called a billiard. If you've ever seen a billiard table where there's no pockets at all, in billiards what you do is the cue ball just has to touch 2 object balls. In billiards there are only 2 other balls on the table, but in this game there's 3, so all you have to do is touch the cue ball to any one of the three object balls, or to any two of the three object balls. Like for example here, if I shot this ball, came off the 1, off the rail into the 5, that's 1 point. So any billiard, anytime the cue ball touches two object balls, it's 1 point. So that's the second way you can score. The third way you can score is to knock over the bottle after hitting an object ball. So only with the cue ball and only after hitting an object ball, like this. Bing, bing, you knock the bottle over, that's 5 points. So 3 ways to score: sink a ball, shoot a billiard, knock over the bottle. And then you keep scoring, your turn keeps going until you either make a miss or you foul. Okay? Now, I should mention the bottle too. These bottles are used for bottle pool. They have little pills that come with them with numbers on them that go in there for a whole bunch of different games that you can play with bottle pool. This is a fancy one made out of leather, but you can buy a plastic bottle for $3-4 is all. A perfect plastic bottle. And you can even, if you want to, if you don't have something, you can take anything. You can take a shampoo bottle. Here's cough syrup. Now, I would obviously clean this out and empty the cough syrup if I was really going to use it for very long. But this works perfectly as well. You bump that, it goes over. So, that's the bottle. Okay. Now, there's the 3 ways to score. And I will show you. I'll go ahead and play a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do here, the other thing that's nice in Drunken Cowboy is you can very often plan for a backup shot, a backup way to score if you miss what you're trying to do. So on the break shot, the break you have to be in the kitchen, just like in 8-ball, or 8-ball used to be anyway, before the ball in hand rule. The kitchen is here. Cue ball has to be somewhere in the kitchen, and on the break you have to hit the 3-ball. That's the only rules there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to sink the 3-ball, and then I'm going to bring this ball around, come back this way to either get a billiard by touching one of the other balls or maybe knock over the bottle. So I'll try. That's a break shot that I really like in this game. Nope. Didn't get the billiard, didn't sink the ball, don't score any points. It's the next guy's turn. Now, so for example, the other important rule in this game is that some ball has to hit a rail in every turn. So you can't just sink the 5-ball like this and then just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth till you win the game. Some ball has to hit a rail. So for example, in this shot, I'm going to put top spin on the cue ball and make it hit the rail. That's a legal shot. If I would have just sunk the 5 and left the cue ball here, that would be a foul. And I'd lose my turn. And here's the tough part. You lose all the points in your turn if you foul by either scratching a normal scratch with the cue ball, or by not hitting a rail on a shot, or by knocking the bottle over either with an object ball or with this ball first, or even if you just bump it with the cue as you're shooting. That's a foul. Then you lose all the points that you've accumulated in your turn. So I might run up 50 points, and then I scratch, I lose 50 points. And that's another thing that is so great about this game that teaches you to focus and be careful. In 8-ball, if you miss a turn, you miss a shot, you lose your turn, it's not that big a deal, it's not that consequential. So you don't really learn to focus. You just can kind of casually shoot in 8-ball. But in this game, you lose your focus, you're going to lose a ton of points. And it's a good spanking to teach you how to focus, teach you how to think where the cue ball is going to go on every shot, because you have to hit a rail. So it forces you to think about, where's my cue ball going to end up? And that, again, that's what makes you a great pool player. as opposed to just an average one or a beginner one. Now, every time you sink a ball in this game, it goes back to its original position. So you have to walk around and pull the balls, or have your opponent pull the balls for you as a courtesy. And then, now I'll give you an example of a bottle shot. Let's say this cue ball was here. Here's the other good part, the other good thing the Drunken Cowboy teaches you is to learn what angle the cue ball is going to come off of other balls, called the carom angle. In 8-ball, you don't really learn that much, or you don't think about it. But in this game, you have to, because that's the only way you're going to score bottles. Now, watch here. I'll go off the 1 ball into the bottle, and then I got a billiard there as well because I touched the 5 ball. So 5 points for the bottle, 1 point for that, for the billiard. That's 6 points. And then after that shot, the bottle just stands up wherever it is, it stands up. Now, if the bottle was like this and couldn't stand up without moving a ball, or couldn't stand up without hitting the rail, then it goes back to its original position. And in this game, you can order, see these little black stickers? You can order them for very cheap on Amazon. But I've also seen guys just take a pencil or a pen, and for these other 2 positions, just put a little dot, a tiny little dot on the table. Works fine with a pen or pencil. It can't be seen very well. So that's a lot of it right there. For scoring, I'll show you these scoreboards that I use. Now these are kind of expensive, these ones here, but you can also just get the little plastic ones about this big, about the size of a business card, the little plastic ones that you roll with your thumb, and then you can have 2 or 4 players, whatever you like. Use those for scoring. And then the other rule I didn't tell you about yet is 3 fouls and you lose the game. 3 fouls and the game is over. So you have to keep up, three fouls in a row. Once you make a clean turn, they're erased again. But I made one of these little strings. You see this string? And it's really easy to take a pool cue and just do this. That says I've got 1. This says I got 2. 3 fouls in a row, game over. And that's kind of a cool feature because it allows the opponent who's not as good as the other guy, it gives him a chance to catch up, gives him a chance to win the game, even if the other guy's way ahead. So I'll go ahead and just play a few turns so you get the idea. All right, I'm gonna make the break shot again from the kitchen. Have to hit the 3 ball on the break shot. Okay, so I get 3 points for that sunk ball. And the cue ball didn't touch anything else, so no more points. So after every shot, I pull the ball that was sunk. So there's 3 points. Let's go for... Missed it. So that's a clean turn, meaning I don't lose my points, which can be a rare thing in the game of Drunken Cowboy. So I just get 3 points. So I put 3 points up, and it's the next guy's turn. Next guy comes along. Oh, there's an easy bottle shot. Maybe I can get more points. Maybe I can sink the 5 and make the bottle. Maybe. Oh, didn't do either. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to tell you, in this game, slop counts, because you're going to make some accidental points. It happens all the time, and it would be pretty hard to get to 100 points without slop counting. So in this game, you don't have to call your shots. All right? So, no, didn't get enough back English on it. So, next guy's turn. I'm going to go for a billiard off the rail. There's a billiard. 1 point. A lot of times the billiard is a way when your other shots are more challenging, you just want to make an easy 1 point to keep your turn going. That can be a good way to do it. Here's another billiard shot. I mean a bottle shot. No! But I accidentally made the 5. So there's 6 points. Get another billiard. Here's a billiard. So that's 7 points. If I would have scratched, I would have lost all 7 points. Now, here, I could sink the 5 and knock over the bottle, but I have to get a rail. Remember, some ball has to touch a rail. And so if I sink that 5 and come over here, there's not going to be enough juice left to get the ball to a rail, probably, unless I hit it super hard. Let's give it a shot. See if I can do it. Nope. Nope. Ah, but I got lucky, got the billiard. So I've got 8 points. I can keep going. All right. The leg of my tripod is in the way here, but maybe I can do it. I'm going to try to hit super gentle, see if I can get a billiard to keep going, because I'll never make that 5-ball shot. I'll miss it. There's another billiard. It hit the rail. So I got 9 points. If that ball had not hit the rail, I would have lost all 8 points in that turn because no ball would have hit a rail. So now I'm going to sink the 3 and see if I can put a little bit of back in just so the ball comes back, maybe get the bottle too. Just like that. So that's 3 for that shot and 5 for the bottle. That's 8 more points. So that puts me at 17 points. Now I'm starting to get nervous because I don't want to lose my 17 points. And any foul will make me lose the 17 points. So I got to start being really careful. I'm going to sink the 1. Come back, try to get the bottle again. Nope. So there's 18 points. I'm going to go for the bottle. Oh, missed it. So that's the end of my turn. I didn't score points. So yes, I get to keep my 18 points, put them up on my scoreboard, and it's the next guy's turn. That's how you play Drunken Cowboy. I bet you were going to love this game. Now, what I didn't tell you yet is how to win the game. Basically, you play to 100 points, but you shoot with the 3 ways of scoring only to 90 points, and then from 90 to 100, you can only score billiards. So that is a wonderful thing that allows the guy who's pretty far behind to catch up. Because if the only way you can score, once, for example, I can't, now let's say I've got 90 points, and you have to land on 90 exactly. If you go over 90 in one turn with some shot other than a billiard, that's a foul, and you lose your points. So I have to land on 90 exactly, then start shooting billiards. And as you can see, if I can't sink that 1 ball anymore, I can't sink the 5 ball, I can't get a bottle for 5 points. If the only way to make points is billiards, like this, whoops, put a little too much backspin on there. Let's do that again. I'm going to put a little bit of backspin and hit it about 45 degrees on the 1 ball. There I got the billiard, and whoops, there I lose those points because I knocked the bottle over with something other than the cue ball. So anyway, my point was from 90 to 100, I can only shoot billiards now. That slows me down big time. And then my opponent can catch up, which makes for a more interesting game. Then, once I get to 100 points, let's say I've just shot a billiard and cue ball comes to here. At 100 points, I have to scratch off the 1 ball. I have to put the cue ball in a pocket after hitting the 1 ball. And nothing else can happen afterward that's a foul. I can't sink the 1. I can't can't knock over the bottle or something. So here's how I would win the game. Let's say I shot with the 3 ways of making points. Sink an object ball, make a billiard, knock over the bottle. I scored 0 to 90 points that way. Then I shot 10 billiards. And now it's my 101st shot. This is the shot that ends the game. Clean turn, boom, game over. That's how you win. You play to 100 points and a scratch. Or, now, for beginners of this game, that can take a long time. The game can take an hour or more because of all the fouling and losing of points and cursing that happens. So you could play to 50 if you like. You could play to 40 points, 10 billiards, play to 50 and a scratch. That's a way to do a shorter game. But it's fun to learn to get good enough to where you can really knock out a 100-point game pretty quick. Super fun game. I think you're going to love it. You're going to get addicted. You're going to want to tell all your friends. Maybe even start a Drunken Cowboy tournament night at your pool hall or at your house. Tell your friends about it, and I will show you I'll put the printed instructions on the screen for you now so you can see. Thanks for your time, and if you want to, send me an email. Let me know how you like the game. I'd love to hear some input.